Man, oh man. Man, oh man. I don't know what to say, bro.
Tragic. Hey Siri, can you play "When It All Falls Down" by Kanye West for me? Like, cause no lie, bro, that's where we're at right now. Like, we were dangling off the cliff, losing to Illinois at home on homecoming when they suck because they're just not very good.
Mm,
But man, to go to Northwestern and lose to a team that shouldn't have beat Howard at
mm.
home earlier this season, the team that I don't want to bring up the allegations, but that team was tripping. Their head coach was tripping. Everything about that program was in shambles till we went out there on Saturday and
Gave him one. Merry Christmas early. Black
mm,
Friday. Buy one, get
mm,
one.
mm, mm. Like all that talk we had, bro, at the beginning of the season, and we're so confident and we're so happy about the team. And Coach Loxley came out and said, "Hey, we have real expectations." Well, like when you put the weight on your back and you start walking with that weight and it's starting to get a little heavy. That was the Ohio
Mm.
State game, and we didn't have that like response to get over the hump and finish. The last 2 weeks, the weight has dropped us like on our knees, and now the weight has crumpled us. We're done. Like I don't know what happens the rest of this season. Um, Realistically, if you look at it, no win or no game is going to be easier than that one.
Yeah.
I think I had joked about it last week and said that like what if we lose out and go 5-7? That might happen now.
You
You
should
have
have
Penn
knocked on
State.
wood, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even that kind of guy. Like I'm not really superstitious, but like I thought the boys would hold it down. Like I thought we would
Mm.
get it together. I thought off a bye week, Coach Sumlin might have been tripping off the bye, and like I still don't know what's going on with that. But I thought the players would lock in off the bye, bro. Like I thought Loxley would bring them together and be like, "Hey, man, we still have so much to play for," and he probably did. I'm not gonna say he didn't, because he's a head coach. That's his job. But what happened, dude? Like all that talent we had, all that potential and talent mean absolutely nothing. You have to perform. Nobody performed, but we were as healthy as we've been probably since week one, or maybe even before the season started. We played horrible against the worst team in the Big Ten, arguably one of the worst FBS teams in the country, and lost. Where do we go from here?
Terrible. Terrible, man. You're right though. Like we're literally fighting. We went from being a Big Ten contender to now we're fighting for the mayonnaise bowl again. You feel me? When you look at the sheet, you see the penalties plagued us. We had 6 penalties for 69 yards, 3 of which were after the whistle that forced us to settle for field goals. And also, we gave up sacks to Northwestern, a team
Dude.
that had 10 sacks in the last 7 games. Bro, they had a historic game against us. They was in that junk getting sack after sack, 6 sacks to Northwestern. It's like, bro, what was the O-line doing? You know what I mean?
Boys ain't
So it's
even have
like,
sack dances. They ain't
come
even have a sack
on. They
dance
wasn't
ready,
ready. They
bro.
wasn't ready. They
They
was
didn't know
not
what to
ready.
do.
They got out there, got the sack, was like, I should have practiced for this. But yeah, like the game overall was just very disappointing, man. I turned on the TV. I could not believe what I saw. I texted Trey. I said, what? What did I text you? I said, when it rains, it pours. That's what we talked about last week.
Dude.
Not following how you felt last week from that game or the week before. You had a bye week, reset. But it seems like the Terps are honestly just staying within the frame of how the last couple of weeks have gone. And I'm hoping that they'll come out and play competitive against Penn State. And Penn State did play a pretty, subpar game against
Eh,
Indiana. It was down to the
yeah.
wire. Last minute, they got that win. So I'm hoping both of these teams are kind of in that same situation and the Terps can come out and play. But if you look at the stat sheet, if you look at the last 3 games, it's not looking too good. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, rolling the dice. I do not know what to expect. I don't got no score prediction. I don't know anything. All I know is when James Franklin come to College Park, he don't come to College Park to compete. He be coming to really
to
put his
get
foot
on
on put his foot
get
on
on
next
our
to
boat.
motherfucking literally get in and get out. So we're gonna see what happens on Saturday, man. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, man, I really can't even describe the feeling. Like I'm sitting there watching the game, and I got the fam with me, and we got on Maryland clothes, and I'm like, by halftime, I'm like, do I need to take these shoes off? Fourth quarter, I'm like, hey, this shirt about to come off. Like y'all, like
Literally, bro.
I'm not about to disown y'all, but y'all are really making it hard. Like y'all about to turn into like stepbrother or something the way y'all playing, and it's just so disappointing because it's not like we played O State, Michigan, Penn State back to back to back. Like we played three powerhouses where it's just juggernaut, and you're like, bro, what can you do? Bro, we played Ohio State, who did not play very well against us. Really, we lost to Marvin Harrison. We played Ohio State, we lost to Marvin Harrison. If I'm keeping it 100, because that's how the game went.
Yeah.
We played Illinois, who had struggled mightily. Like I think they had just lost to Purdue the week before. And Purdue's been struggling too. They
Yep.
didn't have any semblance of an offense. Their offense looked pretty dang decent against us. Ran for a bunch of yards. I don't think Northwestern's quarterback had 1,000 passing yards. Against us, he looked like Peyton Manning. Like putting the ball wherever he wanted, driving down the field. We couldn't stop. We couldn't make a tackle. There was one point where Jay Sean Barham tried to hit him, and he literally like bounced Jay Sean back, and he did a loop de loop. And that's our best defensive player. Like
Mm.
I'm like, man, like what? Did the Monstars come and steal our talent after the Ohio State game? Like, bro, what happened? It's like someone walked into the locker room and just said, "Here you go. Yep, I'm gonna take that from Talia. Yep, I'm gonna take that from Hemby." Matter of fact, disregard Hemby because they just don't give him the ball anymore. That's a whole nother story. All of our receivers. Oh, you're gonna drop the ball. You're gonna get clamped by Northwestern's DBs now. Oh, O-line, you can't block. Defense, we can't make a tackle. We can't get off the field. We can't cover the worst offense in the Big Ten. Like, what is it, bro? Like, in the last 3 games, defense has given up 97 points. And we've played the Marvin Harrison offense, Illinois, and Northwestern. That's unacceptable. Like,
Mm.
what's the issue? Like, I really don't understand. We gave up more points almost at halftime than Howard University gave up to the same school.
That's terrible.
Are, are, are we the third or fourth best team in the DMV? Like, what happened? Like, we look so good against Virginia, and then can't can't play good against Northwestern. Like I said, bro, I really just don't understand. It's hard to fathom that we are like here in this position right now. Um, but the last thing I'm gonna go to in regards to the Northwestern game, bro, is the last two plays. That sequence. Um, because as much as I love Talia and he's statistically the best quarterback in the history of the University of Maryland, there's no challenging that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Those last two plays are essentially his career in a nutshell. The first pass, throws it, Felton's wide open, drops the ball. We miss out on a chance to probably score, and I think we would have went up at that point. And you win a bad game, you play really bad, but at least you won. Very next
Mm-hmm.
play, oh, terrible overthrow, interception, you lose to the worst team in the Big Ten. That's his career, bro. Like high highs, extremely low lows. When you need him the most, it just feels like he vanishes. Like I don't know if you remember the old Avatar the Airbender intro. When the world
Yep.
needed him
When the
most,
world
he
needed
vanished.
most.
When the Terps need Talia the most, unfortunately, over the last couple years, he has had a propensity to vanish.
Yep.
Um, and it's just very unfortunate because, like I said, I really like him as a player. Like he can do so many different things. He's so gifted. But at the end of the day, you are what you put on tape. And
Mm-hmm.
like, is it just he's not clutch? Like, does he, is he missing like the ice in his veins factor? And that, he's a 99 the first 3 quarters of most games, and he's a F minus type player. In the key moments. I don't know. Like, take it away, bro, because I feel like I'm going on, and I feel like it's kind of getting depressing. But like that's where I'm at,
It's
man. Like,
it's giving me Sour Patch Kid vibes, bro. Just sour, sweet, gone, just like that, man. Literally, because it's no reason that with all this talent, we should be with all this talent coaching 2 weeks to prepare for Northwestern, and we lose. That doesn't make any sense. It literally comes down to the players in that locker room. Like, there's no scheme. They out schemed us. They out no. Like, Maryland lost the game for Maryland. It wasn't anything related to their scheme or anything that they did. They didn't come out with no crazy like game plan or anything. It was just Maryland came out there and was mediocre, like below mediocre. It's crazy, but that's the past. We're looking on to Penn State. Penn State has whooped us probably every which way type deal. If you look at it, we played Penn State 47 times in the series. Penn State owns us 42-3. They beat us
sheesh,
30
I
and
didn't even know that.
30-0. Yeah, it's bad. They beat us 30-0 last year in Happy Valley. So now they're coming to Maryland and they trying to beat us again. So it just comes down to like what matters to you as a player. If I'm in that locker room and it's like the season is where it's at, you know you're not going to no Big Ten championship. You know you're not going to no big bowl game, but like, will you play for like honor and integrity and like show folks that when it rains it pours, but I'm still gonna come out there and I'm gonna play and put out my best performance at the end of the day, because like that's who I am as a man, that's who I am as a player, and that's who I am as a competitor. So that's what I want to see. I want to see guys really coming out there on Saturday and not hanging their heads, not like going out there for a participation trophy, but like really coming to like show they're like, all right, we might suck or we might not be as good as people would have expected or we would have expected, but I'll still knock your head off, or I'll still
Mm-hmm.
dunk one on you and get one on you. You know, those are the guys that you really want to build a team around at this point. Because when everything is going well, everybody looks like a superstar. Everybody's cleats is shiny. But when stuff starts to get rough, you really want to see those gritty players on your team that they don't care about no record. They don't care about nothing. They just want to go out there and play football and play the game that they love. So that's what I'm really going to be looking like. Every single player, I'm like, all right, whose shoulders are high, who hanging their head, like who looking like they out there just burning calories, and who's really out there playing football. That's what I want to see on Saturday. That's really my only critique. There's no game plan. There's no nothing. It's gonna be man on a man, hat on a hat. Give Hemby the ball. Cough, cough. But other than that, that's my only real takeaways from the game. Penn State played mediocre as hell last week against Indiana. They're not invincible. They're not unbeatable. So, like, who do you want to? What Maryland is going to come out? Is it going to be
Yeah.
Maryland that comes out that lost to Indiana? I mean, they lost to Northwestern last week, or is it going to be Maryland that was competing with Ohio State, like the Maryland football that we love to watch and that we know is still somewhere deep, deep, deep inside of there?
Bro, you know what? You know what I was thinking? Like, I hate to be that guy because, I mean, bro, we rock with Maryland through and through. Like, as bad as they play, those are my dogs. Like, I think about the fact that, like, if a Maryland player heard the last couple episodes, bro, and they heard what we said, get all mad. Like, hey, man, I don't like how y'all talked about it. Like, to be honest, bro, you got to show me. You got to do
Mm-hmm.
something that says you are standing on business, like Drake and
Yeah,
Drewski said, and you're gonna go
10
out there,
toes.
bro, and do something. If you play one play, go smack somebody's head on kickoff.
Yep.
If you gonna play every snap, if you're Talia, you're Hemby, you're either of the Jay Sean's, offense or defense, you got Trader, Bo Braid, all these dudes. You got all these
Keep
dudes,
all
bro.
of them.
Go be one. Go make me look dumb for saying you ain't that guy. Go make
Yep.
all the ESPN people look crazy for saying, "Hey, this team isn't what we thought they were gonna be." Go show us that these last 3 weeks have been flukes, because until further notice, no one is gonna say any different. Like, no one's
Yep.
gonna sit here and say, "Oh well, I still believe in them." To be honest, right now, no one does. Nobody does.
Not a
And
soul.
like, you add on to the fact that they're pulling out this sweet yellow Terp script jersey. Like, you're gonna be out there looking good. You better not get beat by 60. Because the last couple times Penn State done came and we done had a blackout and all this other cool stuff, you got smoked.
Senior game, smoke,
bro, you
boo-hooing
gotta
in the
have
locker
some,
room.
bro. You gotta have some pride about you, bro. Cause like, and I look back on my last college football game ever. I didn't even get to finish because Miles Sanders fell backwards into me, and they called targeting when he hit me in the face because he was falling. So I went out sad against Penn State, double sad because I didn't get to finish the game, and we were getting whooped at the time.
Yep.
I don't want that for anybody else, especially not dudes who rocking the same uniforms, upgraded that I wore. Like it means that much to me even now. Like I want better for y'all. And it ain't even necessarily about winning or losing. You gotta do something, bro. Like as a man, and that's what you are, bro. Like you left your mommy and daddy's house. They don't pay your bills no more, at least hopefully. You know, you a big boy now. You a man.
Yeah.
Go out there and handle business. I gotta see something. If I don't see fight this week, I'm out on this team. Like 100%. Like throwing your card.
Cancel the
It's
show.
over. Like
Cancel the show.
Like we might as well pack it in and go home because we talk. Okay, so we were talking about the beginning of the season. We were talking about 9-10 wins.
Man,
That's dead. The
rip up
over
my
under
ticket, man.
the original over under, bro, was 6.5. So we got two questions to answer. First, when and where? Well, actually, I said run it back. Do we hit 6 wins? If so, when and where? Because Indiana looked pretty dang good against Penn State. If we don't look good against Penn State, Indiana gonna be licking their chops.
Yeah.
Rutgers is already bowl eligible, and they were always the laughing stock of the conference. We lose a couple more games, that's gonna turn into us. And then there's Michigan, and they got their whole old thing going on. But I can't even make fun of them right now because they just gonna turn back and say y'all are boo boo, and I'm gonna be like,
yep.
Got me. So like, okay, first, do we hit 6, bro? Are we going bowling? We like you said, we ain't coming down to the beaches. They're not coming to the crib in Florida to hang out with me. Sucks because I wanted to be involved in like the bowl celebrations, and I already planned out like we was gonna scheme up the alumni parties. That's dead. Are we going to Detroit or New York or there's one in Fenway. They play in Boston. We going to Boston? What you think?
Well, 6 wins. We're gonna be Nebraska. If we take
Oh
an L
yeah.
this week,
We
we're gonna be
do have
Nebraska.
Nebraska. We do have Nebraska, but that's in Nebraska, and Nebraska sells out. Even though they suck, they sell out every time. It's 85,000 strong. I will give them that.
It's gonna be cold out there too. So just get
Mm-hmm.
that 6 against Nebraska. But it'd be even sweeter to get the 6 this weekend against Penn State and really smack them boys and show them like, all right, y'all might be number 9th in the country, but this is still Maryland and we still run this type deal. You came to our house, so I want to see them boys get this 6 win here against Penn State this weekend in the shell with your fancy uniforms.
Yeah.
Hit somebody. Catch the ball. Do
something.
something. Show me something, man.
Please.
Show me something, please.
Yeah. Pretty please.
I'm begging you.
With a cherry all the way on the top, boy. Like pretty please. So
I'm
all right.
begging.
So I agree. I got them winning 6 games. I don't.
You said it was 6.5. That was the preseason over under.
The over under from the beginning of the year was 6.5. Okay, so are we winning 2 games?
Vegas is good. No,
we winning 2.
Yes, because we're gonna beat Rutgers. It's gonna be a close game against Penn State this week because they're gonna come out like, bro, we can't go outside for 4. Michigan is gonna be very rough. They already know they know all of our plays, all of our signals, all of our signs. They got us. They got us.
Buddy tapping on Harbaugh right now. Hey, coach, you ain't even got to worry about this one. They gonna do it. They themselves. Got us. Hey, we don't even need the signals for this one.
I'm weak. Don't even buy the tickets to the game. Don't even buy the tickets to the game. That's funny as hell, yo. But yeah, we're gonna get 6, bro. And so the 7, we're gonna grit our teeth and get that 7th one for sure, bro. We gotta finish the season with 7 wins. If we don't finish the season with 7 wins, Terps, it's looking bad. Because after Toledo, what's next? You gotta start fresh.
Like, dang, we done had 4 years of this and still couldn't get to where we wanted. So it's like
historic quarterback. So it's
like, yeah, where do we go from here? That's a very good question. But to wrap things up, bro, like where we at outside of Maryland? Because I feel like we done got on these boys enough. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a break. What you seeing from the Big Ten in terms of like, all right, are we gonna get one? Who's gonna be the Big Ten champion? Are we gonna get one team in the playoff? Can we sneak two in? Like,
Nah,
what
I
you
don't think
what?
we can sneak two. I think State is pretty much the perennial. They're gonna get into the Big Ten. I mean, they're gonna win the Big Ten championship and they're gonna get in the playoff for sure, realistically. And then you got Georgia for sure. Georgia's gonna get in. Those are the two. And then depending on how Washington plays this weekend against USC, we'll see if they
Mm-hmm.
can sneak their way up in there. But Georgia, Ohio State, who else? There's a couple other good teams right now.
What about Florida State? Because
Florida,
Florida State's still
yeah,
whooping
Florida
on
State,
folks.
yeah, Florida State's been good. I don't think anybody's gonna beat them realistically. And then who's the fourth?
Big
Who you
12
got as your
looking
fourth?
dicey. Big 12 looking dicey
Yeah.
because Oklahoma lost already, so that puts a damper on them. Texas lost to Oklahoma, but they beat Bama. So like, does that give them a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of, if they come back and win the Big 12 championship, do they get in? Um, I think it's gonna be tough. Like I think that's why like you kind of beg the question like, does Ohio State
Michigan.
and Michigan somehow slip in? Especially like say Washington loses. I feel like if Washington
Oh
loses,
yes,
the
yes,
the
yes, yes.
Pac-12's done. Like there's no
Done.
there's no chance for them to get a team in because I don't think they're gonna respect any of them enough. Like I mean USC is out already. Like no matter what they do,
Yep.
I don't think that if if you
Colorado,
have you have
like,
you have you have one loss, you have one loss Oregon. If you had one loss Washington, I don't think you put them in over one loss O State or Michigan.
mm-hmm.
You just don't. And then obviously, like you said, like I don't see anybody beating Georgia even without Brock Bowers. Like I don't see anybody beating them at least until we get to the playoff. And
Mm-hmm.
and Florida State looks really good. Like I don't know if we're leaving anybody out. What is that? That's ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac 12. Yeah, like I don't know. Like maybe Texas sneaks in, but like who do you respect more? Texas, who beat Bama, who's not all that, especially early in the year, but lost to
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma, or do you respect Michigan, who lost? Say they lose a close game to Ohio State, or even the other way around, Ohio State loses a close game to Michigan. Who do you respect more? Um,
Yeah.
so there's that, and also, I mean, those teams still have to win out too. So it goes both ways. We'll see. So on the flip side, then who you got winning the Heisman? I feel like
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
what you call it? Yeah, we got Washington. What you call it?
Penix.
Yeah, Penix is winning that jump. I think he
Yeah, I
got
mean,
that in the rap. Not Drake May,
bro.
not
Yeah,
bruh
no,
from
he's out. Caleb is
USC. None of
out.
those dudes. Caleb's out. Colorado folks is out. We got
Yeah,
Penix is winning that thing.
yeah. I mean,
Especially
like
if he can beat USC this weekend. It's a dub.
yeah. Realistically, like the only opposition I would see is if he loses. Maybe you start arguing, does Marvin Harrison Jr. get some consideration just because
Mm.
Buddy is the single best player in college football right now. That part's not even an argument. It's just it's so hard to get the Heisman as a non-quarterback, especially as a receiver. Like they just don't give you the love. Like I mean, obviously Devontae Smith won it, but Buddy broke like every receiving record for the most part. And
Yeah.
averaged like 160 a game. So I mean, Marvin's right there. So it's like, can he mess around and get in there? Michigan's quarterback. If Michigan wins out, I think McCarthy might be able to steal it from Penix just because they'll be undefeated. He'll have
Mm-hmm.
arguably top stats across the board, and they love to give it to a quarterback. But I think those are three dudes who are for sure going to be in New York. I think McCarthy's going to be there. Penix is going to be there for sure, and then Marvin Harris. I think there's no way they don't at least get him to New York.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
I agree.
regardless of how they vote, he's the best player in college football anyway. Um, so we're gonna see. We
We'll
are
see.
gonna
We'll
see.
see. My top four, I definitely think Ohio State, Florida State, Michigan, and Georgia. One of those teams between Michigan and Ohio State is going to be one loss, but it's not really going to matter. So those are the teams I got in. I don't got Bama getting in, sneaking in.
Mm-mm.
Don't got Oklahoma sneaking in. Don't got Texas. Don't got Oregon. And if Washington wins out, they'll get in over the one loss Big Ten team. But if they
Mm-hmm.
lose,
It's over.
Whether
It's
to
done.
USC now or in the Pac-12, they literally have to go undefeated if they want to make it to the playoff. That's just what it is. Such
Yeah,
to suck.
that's the Pac-12 doesn't get the respect like that, and I mean, for the
Yeah.
most part, rightfully so, right? Like they just haven't earned it in big games, and like
Mm-hmm.
last time Washington was in the playoff, they got mollywopped. So it's
Spanked.
like, you know what I mean? That's just how it goes a little bit. But yeah, man, we kind of hit everything. I feel like we were on the soapbox about the Terps this weekend. I
3
mean,
weeks straight, man. Like, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
they've kind of asked for it,
Yep.
unfortunately, and it hasn't really been all that fun to talk about. Um,
Yeah.
Contrary to what we may make it seem or feel like. But we appreciate y'all tuning in, man.
Yes, sir.
Been another episode talking Terps. We'll catch y'all next week. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Deuce.